Vikes now, Dustin Baker, the scheduled day release edition. We'll get to that on tomorrow's episode, breaking down the whole thing. But first, I have Dustin Klug, who is that Vikings fan on Twitter. How are you today, sir?
I'm doing good. I'm excited for, all the games for the schedule and stuff like that and seeing what games I want to go to. And I think it'll be fun.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I'm targeting that London game. I think I can make it happen. Tell us about yourself, your biography. What's your bio in this digital Viking space?
So I'm just a Vikings fan from, the hated East rivals, Wisconsin State. So yeah, I've been a Vikings fan pretty much my whole life here. Just kind of, liked the Vikings growing up. And obviously, it doesn't work out too well being surrounded with Packer fans and stuff like that. So other than that, it's just kind of like to be involved with the Vikings. And I don't know, just kind of want to have like a dream job or something with the Vikings. And they'll have a pretty good life then. So
excellent. So you, for viewers who don't know, you helped me get the video platform off the ground. I started with StreamYard and it was doing goofy shit with my voice and it was like a Japanese limp sync from the 60s. And then you helped me with the OBS part. So I appreciate that, sir. Is that you still do the TikTok, the Viking stuff, that sort of digital?
Yep. I also have a TikTok account. I like to post a lot on there. I started with YouTube. So, I got that little background in doing YouTube videos, editing, stuff like that. Now I'm kind of on the rising up platform with TikTok, getting all the views, engagement, stuff like that. So doing pretty good over there.
That's excellent. I'll send you the MP4, is it, of this, and then maybe you can chop it up for some of your fans over there.
Sure.
All right, so I through a series of sources, I was able to get the Viking schedule in order. I published it about a half hour ago before we came in here. I think it's mostly solid. We won't spend the whole episode on the schedule because we could talk for 2 hours. So I want to the one that is most confirmed of credible rumors is the Packers Week 1 at US Bank Stadium. There for a minute it was going to be prime time, but I think it's just late afternoon. How does that rub you? Trial by fire for Kevin O'Connell, Week 1 against the home state team where you're at.
I think it's a good game for fans. I think, a lot of good engagement for Week 1. I know back in 2020, the Vikings and Packers played. It didn't go our way, but that was also, a higher scoring game. We kind of, were late in the party there, but for coaching wise, I think it is a little tougher, for Vikings and the Packers, both sides, with a rookie head coach. Kirk is basically going into basically a new team per se, new coach system, stuff like that. So I think it's a good game either way. Hopefully the Vikings come out on top for this one, and yeah, hopefully we go out with the season 1-0 at that point.
Yeah, an interesting fact for the viewers is that if it feels weird to see the Packers at the Vikings home stadium in Week 1, it is, because it'll be the first time it's happened with fans in attendance. Indeed, we had the pandemic season where we got our asses kicked in Week 1 and couldn't stop them at all on defense. But yeah, this will be the first time the Vikings have ever hosted the Packers in a Week 1 game with people in attendance. So that's kind of neat. Tunneling into some of the other factors that I think we'll probably spend about 4 months discussing here. Give me one or two surprise cuts from this roster. There's always one or two for each team that you're like, whoa. Do you have any theories on who that might be come August or so?
I just kind of had one in mind. I think it's personally CJ Ham. I don't know if Kevin O'Connell will like to use a fullback in his offense. He kind of is more of he started off as a running back, I'll say, and kind of transitioned to fullback. And then the team did sign, Jake Vargas, another fullback. They have a couple of kickers as well. So I don't know if that's, just competition or things to come, saving cap space or, something like that. But I personally think it's CJ Ham or maybe one of the offensive linemen. I can't put a finger to it right now, but I'm guessing one of them will go as well.
Yeah, they're all of a sudden, during the Zimmer days, we usually had two dudes that were like career reservist guards that were going to audition. And now we have Wyatt Davis, Jesse Davis, Chris Reed, Ed Ingram, and Oli Udo. So there might be a way to keep all of those guys. Maybe Udo is the turnstile tackle that Rashad Hill was. I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm with you that probably somebody with a small dead cap hit like Chris Reed would be the odd man out, or Udo if they don't like the tackle plan. Let's see, what else do we have on the docket? Oh yeah, so I usually ask each guest something about Kirk Cousins. He's the quarterback of the team. He's a lightning rod for criticism. I know based on following you for a few years that you might probably consider yourself a Kirk guy, or at least you believe in the talent that's there. Even with that said, what do you need to see from Mr. Cousins to be confident about him being the quarterback beyond this season? Is it like a litmus test, playoffs or bust, or what do we got?
Yeah. Like you said before, I'm one of the bigger Kirk fans, right up there with Joe. So, I'm not, I'll criticize him as well. If he's doing bad, I'll say he's doing bad. But all in all, I'm a Kirk fan. So this season, I don't expect them to go very far in the playoffs. I expect them to maybe get close or even get in, given the new rookie head coach, new system, stuff like that. Injuries happen as well. So we'll see, if the ball bounces our way or not. But, after the season, I do expect Kirk to be the quarterback for at least 2 more seasons. I don't know how good college quarterbacks are, within the next couple of years, but if Kwesi does decide to go that route in the next year or two, I'm totally fine with that. But it has to blow our minds and blow us away, I'll say. And I think Kirk should be the quarterback for a couple of years to come, and at least be over 500, what his record is. Okay. I don't believe in quarterback wins. I think that's just that's a team stat for everybody that's wondering. That's a team stat. So I think, just get in the playoffs and, see what happens. Good example is the Saints game in 2019. Not everybody expected the Vikings to win or giving them a chance, but we somehow pulled that out. And just like I said earlier, playoffs are a whole different, animal. So hopefully we can get there this year and then years to come.
I think there's a common misnomer about folks that believe in Kirk Cousins or consider themselves Kirk Cousins fans, that if the team up and traded him a month ago, or they trade him, like they're going to riot. And I just don't think that's the case. I think that they recognize that Cousins is the best available option. And so therefore, if you want to win games, you better employ him. I think there's a false narrative that's like, well, you're either a Kirk Cousins fan or you're a Vikings fan. And I've never been able to wrap my arms around that bad boy. All right. So here on draft night, you're sitting at your house or at a bar, wherever you were, boom, they trade with the Lions. You probably get used to it for a couple hours. All right, what are they going to do night 2? Boom, they trade with the Packers. And I don't know that anybody, when those news tidbits hit the wire, were like, sweet, like we robbed them. I don't think I know anybody that felt that way. Have you warmed up to the trades after the fact?
Yeah, I was actually in Vegas with my buddy Max.
Oh, that's right.
The game.
I forgot.
At the draft. Yeah, it was, it was a fun experience. So, when we first initially traded with Detroit, I'm like, what is going on? That's a big difference for Detroit to move up. And then when we picked Lewis Cine, I honestly didn't know who that was at the time. So I'm like, who is this guy? And, warming up to it, I like the pick now. He's a good safety. He's basically a Harrison Smith Jr. Mm-hmm. So, and then with the Packers day 2, we were walking to the draft when that happens. And me and my buddy were just in shock. And we were like, that's rule number 1. You don't do anything with the Packers. But I think they picked Christian Watson out of that pick. And, I guess only time will tell. And then we picked Ed Ingram, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So they got a skill position player. We got, possibly a starter, maybe depth as well. So, like I said, time will tell on who's going to win those trades. Jameson Williams for the Lions, I think, will do pretty good. Hopefully not against us, but I think he'll do good. So
Vikings, as a fruit of that trade, also got Andrew Booth and Brian Asamoah. So he did add quantity with the hope that they'll be quality. And yeah, I'm with you on the trades. They got to be adjudicated down the line. But the one knock on Kwesi, and I've talked about this on a couple platforms, is that with the 12th pick, he did indeed miss the chance to abuse the Lions. It doesn't, like, he basically, in my opinion, traded as if it was a fair trade, on a regular old August day. Like, yeah, we'll do this. But when you have that premium capital and you're a seller, you can bully people. And he didn't do that. He took a value-based trade, which seems like it's an MO. So yeah, we shall see if it pans out for him. Give me a couple more questions for you, good sir. If the Vikings freed up cap space, probably with renegotiations of Eric Kendricks or Dalvin Cook, what is one free agent that would make this team even better, because they do consider themselves contenders?
I think one of the obvious ones is JC Treader. I know a lot of problems are, with his knees and turf and stuff like that, which obviously the Vikings play on turf. So we'll see, if he decides to, come to the Vikings. I know his dad is pretty active on Twitter, liking a lot of Vikings fans' tweets about, his son playing for the Vikings, but he's also liking, a lot of Dolphins. Whatever.
Yeah, we never mentioned that part.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just liking a lot of tweets, just about his son. So I think JC Treader would be a significant upgrade over Garrett Bradbury. I think Garrett Bradbury could also be a potential roster cut, in August, September, whatever. I would like linebacker depth as well, besides Kendricks and Hicks and a couple of our draft picks as well. Some type of middle linebacker, like maybe like a Joe Schobert, something like that. And then maybe tight end depth as well, because it's not super promising with our depth with Irv Smith, some of the other guys as well that I just can't think of right now. But, Kyle Rudolph possibly coming back, I think would be, pretty nice. Or even Eric Ebron as well. So yeah, I think tight end depth is right up there with concerns. So.
Yeah, it should be, because either they know Johnny Munt is this Conklin-ish gem and we don't, or they're going to make a move like an Ebron, like you said, or Jimmy Graham, or one of those old war horses that are still available. On Bradbury, I want to point this out, and I hope it's not too unfair to the man. He's a fabulous run blocker. And, he snaps the ball to Cousins with ease, which seems like a menial deal, but he does get it done. But the deal with him is that when Spielman drafted him in 2019, when you pick a center with the 18th overall pick, that guy should be absolutely damn near generational, because otherwise you can find centers later on. So when they got Bradbury, who's a smallish offensive lineman in the trenches, you kind of scratch your head, but they got to know what they're doing. Well, on the pass protecting part, they didn't. So I think that will always be the knock, is Bradbury's draft stock, A, in the first round, and then B, the 18th pick for a center is damn near ludicrous, because that should be a Hall of Fame dude. And I think that's where, Bradbury would really have to do a lot in a short period of time to prove that he was worth an 18th overall pick. All right, the last question that I've got for you, sir. I love giving this little speech on my podcast with Brian McKinney about a year ago this time. We were chatting about unsung Vikings who could spring up out of nowhere, and not a single soul on that show of some brilliant Vikings minds mentioned KJ Osborne. All of a sudden, with 1 month of the summer, he became the Vikings WR3 that we've craved for a half a decade. And then on the same note, a rookie, an under-the-radar rookie, Cameron Bynum, when the bright lights came on and Harrison Smith was out, he shined, and he was a fourth rounder. So give me one under-the-radar Viking rookie or vet that you think makes a name for himself come September through January.
So for rookie wise, I think that Jalen Naylor will probably be a good, depth, good guy to be in that mix for wide receiver 3, 4, 5. I know we got, it's pretty top heavy with Thielen, Jefferson, possibly Osborne if he continues his production as well. But after that, it's Smith Marset. We got Jalen Naylor. We got BC Johnson, which a lot of people forget about. So it's a stacked, not stacked, but it's a filled wide receiver room. So I think Jalen Naylor could have a potential to play good special teams, be a punt returner, kick returner, something like that. I know those roles are kind of almost filled with Nwangu and Osborne as well. But Jalen Naylor, I think if he gets an opportunity, I think he can be pretty darn good. That MSU connection with Cousins and Naylor. So
Okay.
yeah, I think Naylor could have a good shot.
The one that I want to point out for people who have patience would be Ty Chandler, because Alexander Madison, in all likelihood, this will be his last year at the team. Dalvin Cook has a potential like opt-out clause or divorce point, if you want to call it that, with the Vikings next offseason. So in theory, we don't know. Kwesi could be planning for Chandler as the dude next year. And we don't see it now because it's a crowded house, just like you talked about at WR. At RB, you got all these dudes. What the hell are they adding Chandler for? Well, thinking long-term, he could be the guy. All right. Do you have any closing arguments? Anything you want to get off your chest about these Vikings as we head off air?
Not right now. I just hope that the schedule is pretty good for us when it does, when I get to see it and stuff like that. So
I'll share you the link here afterward.
Sure.
All right, good sir. I hope that you will come back as a regular guest, perhaps maybe June or July. We'll dial up your number. And if that's all you got, that's all I got. And Skol, baby.